right amount of defense, while the offense put 7 runs on the board. But the night belonged to Chris Stratton, who dominated the Padres through 7 innings, allowing 1 hit for the win. Now the Giants turn to another one of their young starters whose determination and poise has been impressive. Ty Blach takes the ball in game 2 of the series. Giants go for 2 in a row over the Pods next.
A great way to get to Petco Park here in San Diego is the trolley, the gas lamp quarter stop, or you can walk across the bridge from the harbor. Either way, it's a beautiful yard right next to downtown. The Giants and the Padres tonight. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Welcome to Giants baseball. And a 7-0 win last night. Chris Stratton and Derek Law allowed only 1 hit in the combined shutout. Now tonight, Ty Blach goes for the Giants, the left-hander, who's off to a pretty good start. And Tyson Ross, the Bay Area product, goes for San Diego.
Well, Ty Blach, I mean, he's always pitched well against these Padres in his young career, but he's never had a win. He comes into tonight's ballgame 0-2, but with an ERA in the 3s. But the one thing that he has done this year is he has won the confidence of the defense that plays behind him. He works a quick pace. He's a strike thrower. His counterpart and opponent tonight, Tyson Ross, one of the best sinker-slider combinations in the game. His last outing against the world champ, Houston Astros, didn't walk anybody, struck out 7. So tonight could be all about pitching.
It used to be a problem for Tyson Ross, that lack of control. Maybe he's learned how to harness that stuff. We'll find out soon enough. Giants Padres, game 2 of the 4-game series. We'll have more from Petco Park when we return. Stay with us. Brandon Crawford made a great play in shallow center field after a long run on a would-be base hit by Eric Hosmer, and that sort of set the tone. And the Giants have played like that most of the season, Mike. Defensively, they've only allowed 3 unearned runs in their first 12 games.
Well, I think everybody was talking about let's just stay 500 when 3 of the 5 guys in the rotation have gone down to the disabled list. But the Giants, if you look closely at the numbers, they rank in the top 5 in batting average, defense, and pitching ERA in the National League. They think they should be doing a lot better. What they haven't been able to do is to score runs. Last night's 7-0 victory was a huge step in getting the hit that they haven't been able to get, and that's the one that gives them a crooked number in an inning. They got 3 runs in the 4th. They later on scored 4 runs in the 6th, I believe, and that's the type of confidence they've been looking for. So Bruce Bochy is hoping that the one thing they have been able to do is score runs. That drought is over.
All right, so the Giants will try and do it again against Ross. Andrew McCutchen is in the 3rd spot. Buster Posey, he's been hot lately. He'll be hitting cleanup. We'll be back with the lineups. First pitch right after this.
Waiting the arrival of the Padres on the field. And a beautiful night. Temperatures will be right around 70 degrees at game time. The Giants batting order now brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Panic leads off second base. Belt at first base, and he's had some success against Tyson Ross, the Padres starter. McCutchen right field. Posey catching. Longoria third base. Crawford at shortstop. Pence hitting 7th and left. Blanco the center fielder, and Ty Block the pitcher bats 9th. The Padres take the field now. Tyson Ross, the starter, born in Berkeley, lives in the offseason in Oakland, and he signed his first professional contract with the Oakland Athletics all the way back in 2008, coming out of Cal. So here is Ross. This will be his 3rd start of the year, his 2nd at home.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers for Tyson Ross. This will be start number 3, 1-1 with a 5.25 ERA. However, the key with Ross is always, can he get that slider over? It's one of the really hard sliders in all of the National League, and when he's locating it, it's very explosive, and he'll get strikeouts. His last outing against the Astros in Houston, he had no walks. He struck out 7. Most of the strikeouts came off of that slider. He's basically a sinker slider guy, and you'll see a velocity that goes anywhere from low to mid 90s with the sink. He also will mix in a cut fastball on occasion, but for the most part, you think he's going to be a sinker slider. Doesn't really have a great off-speed pitch to go with that. Against the Giants,
3-4 with a 3.61 ERA. He's a big guy, 6'6", 240 pounds in his 7th year in the big leagues. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind him. Starting in the Padres outfield from left to right, it'll be Perella, Cordero, and Renfroe, the best arm by far in right field. Renfroe has a cannon. Galvis and Villanueva, they're on the left side of the infield. Asuaje and Hosmer, the 4-time Gold Glover, they're on the right side. Austin Hedges, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs. Austin Hedges, the catcher, has a very good arm.
Joe Panik to lead off for the Giants now. 295 average. And the count is 0-1. .70 degrees, exactly the game time temperature here at Petco. And that is too low. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Tyson Ross made one start for the Padres 2 years ago and no more. And he had to undergo the thoracic outlet syndrome surgery. Caused him to miss the rest of that year. That was off the foot of Joe Panik, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. In 2017, last year, he was with the Texas Rangers in the American League, made 12 appearances, 10 starts for Texas. And he was also rehabbing with them. And with Texas, he went 3-3, but with a 7.71 ERA. Little flare right to Villanueva, the third baseman, and there is one away. So he didn't seem to do well in the American League last year with the Rangers, although he had just missed almost an entire season and even more into last year. But early this year, he made a start against an American League team in interleague play, the Houston, maybe the best team, the team that won the World Series last year, and he shut them down.
Well, when he's got his sink on the sinker and he's got his bite on the slider, he's tough. And he's got a real good strike zone to work with tonight, too, with Tim Timmons, the plate umpire.
And I guess shutting them down is a bit of an overstatement, but he beat them, that's for sure. Tim Timmons behind the plate, as you said, Mike. Rob Drake, Mike Malinsky, and Mike Winters, the umpires on the bases. And it's 1-1 now to Brandon Belt. Belt 6 hits, 17 career at bats versus Tyson Ross, plus 3 walks. So Belt has done well against this big right-hander. They've got the overshift on for him, and they've opened up third base. There's nobody at all at third base. There's the bunt, and that's a base hit. Well, they gave it to him, and he took it.
That's a good time to do it. I mean, it's 1 out in the first inning. There's no score. They're going to give it to you. Put yourself on base. Put the pitcher in the stretch for the first time. I mean, he's trying to settle in and get a rhythm. Last night, Belt had an at-bat where he tried to bunt with 2 outs and a 3-1 count, and he had a 3-0 lead. It wasn't a good time. Here in this instance, this is a great time to do it. Great job.
So Belt is aboard. Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer may remember the time that Brandon Belt bunted in the World Series in Game 5 of the 2014 World Series for a hit. It was a big play in that 5th game as McCutchen fouls it back to the screen. That was the one where Hunter Pence had gotten a leadoff hit, and it was a 0-0 game in the middle innings. James Shields was on the mound pitching well, and then Pence bunted for or rather Belt bunted for a hit, moving Pence up, and the Giants went on and got a couple of runs in that inning. A game in which Madison Bumgarner ended up pitching a shutout to put them ahead 3-2 in that World Series. And there's a called strike to McCutchen.
Talking about Tim Timmons' strike zone. He's a low ball umpire. You'll get width on both sides of the plate. It's a very consistent zone. It's a good pitcher zone, but hitters don't argue with him because it's a consistent one.
The tall right-hander Tyson Ross, 6 feet 6 inches tall. And that's his first breaking ball of the game. Villanueva gets one, back to first, not in time. And he stays alive for Buster Posey.
All right, time for our Jeep play of the game. It's brought to you by the new 2019 Jeep Cherokee. Last night, Buster Posey hit a 2-run double in the top of the 6th inning off of Colton Brewer. It was a big swing of the bat. And that is our Jeep Cherokee play of the game.
Buster has had at least one hit, and usually more, in each of his last 10 games played. His overall average for the year, 375. 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. One ball and no strikes. Posey 4 hits in 15 career at bats against Tyson Ross, but also with 5 walks. So he's been on base 45% of the time in his previous plate appearances against Ross. McCutcheon at first with 2 down. And he drops that one in there for a strike.
2 pitches, 2 sliders, and he really could have had the first pitch called a strike.
One and one to Buster Posey. Longoria on deck.
We'll check the runner. That sign was, well, that throw over was called by the bench. Anytime you see a catcher put a fist down and then flick his thumb, that tells the pitcher to throw to first.
And it's 1 and 2.
Well, one thing about Buster Posey, he will guess. He will try and create a 1-pitch opportunity. And so far in this at bat, he has guessed wrong. He guessed wrong in the 1-0 count. And here he guessed wrong in the 1-1 count. There you see the numbers lifetime. Good success. 4 for 15 with a couple of extra base hits.
Cutting away from him, up and away, 93 miles an hour. 2 and 2.
Man, that cut fastball, it's a good pitch for Ross. That's one he didn't have when he first got up here. Most of all pitches he would throw were just sinkers, which had movement coming into the right-hander. So somebody taught him a cutter that had movement going away from the right-hander. And that's his 3rd pitch.
Now it's a full count.
He still doesn't have a changeup. I mean, everything's pretty hard. Hard sinker, hard cutter, hard slider. And you know that he's tried, and he just hasn't come up with a comfortable grip that would enable him to have confidence to throw that changeup or split in a fastball count.
McCutcheon goes, and a half swing right back to Ross. One hit, one left for the Giants. Now Ty Block out to the mound. At the Coronado Bridge, you see off in the distance on the right-hand side, Petco and the San Diego skyline. The Padres batting order: Franchi Cordero center field, Jose Pirela left field, Eric Hosmer at first, Hunter Renfroe in right, Christian Villanueva third base, Freddie Galvis at shortstop, And he's got a .418 on base average this year. Hedges the catcher, Aswahe at second, Ross the pitcher, batting ninth against Ty Block. Whoa. What was wrong with that one?
You know, at times you want to call timeout and go ask the guy. There's the numbers for Ty Block. This is his fourth start, 1-1 with a 4.11 ERA.
That's called a strike.
Block in his second year at the big league level. 27 years of age, 6'1", 215 pounds.
And a swing and a miss. And there's not too many of those usually in a Ty Block game.
Well, his whole idea is to take the sting out of your at bat. He wants to upset your timing. You're going to see a low 90s fastball. He'll sink and cut, curveball, changeup.
And that is another swing and a miss. 2 in a row, and that's all for Cordero down on strikes.
Let's take a look at the Giants defensively behind Ty Block tonight. Starting in their outfield from left to right will be Pence, Blanco, and McCutcheon, the best arm in right field. Crawford and Longoria on the left side of the infield. Panic and Bell on the right side. And Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Here is Jose Pirela now, hitting .300. And that is at the knees for a strike.
Pretty much the same pitch that was called the ball to start the game. By the way, first time in baseball history, two guys named Tyson going at each other. Tyson Block going against Tyson Ross. Just want to throw that out.
That's the first time that I've ever heard anybody call Block Tyson
I
Block.
didn't know that till I read it yesterday. I had to check it out. Tyson Michael Block.
Brandon Crawford scooped out by Hunter Pence, or Brandon Belt, and that is out number 2.
You know, great technique there too from the back end of this play from Brandon Belt, and it's something that you really can't stress enough. When Belt goes to get into his stretch, he gets bend in his knee, and that enables him to put his hand down low. It's a lot easier to come up with your glove than it is to go down, and he gets his glove in a low position, but he sets it up with the bend in his leg. Good job.
So 2 down, and a nice play on both ends of that one. Here is Hosmer. Back to Block. He took the sting out of the bat of Eric Hosmer.
And that's his job.
On to the second inning, Longoria, then Crawford coming up. First inning number 2 now. Evan Longoria takes a called strike from Tyson Ross. Longoria, Crawford, and Pence. Longoria had 2 hits last night and an RBI. 0-2 the count. Longoria has had 7 career at bats against Ross and is 3 for 7 against him.
Watch the head pull off the pitch, and this is what he's been fighting since about the last 4 days of spring training. He's coming out of it. He's starting to keep that head down, that front shoulder in, but every once in a while he'll still come off the ball.
And the fastball puts him away at 94. Tuesday, April the 24th, the Giants get home. The Washington Nationals will be in town, and the 24th, that is USF night. Your USF night ticket package includes a USF co-branded beanie and a ticket to see the Giants take on the Nats. Visit sfgiants.com/special events. That they call that a beanie now.
Yes,
they call them ski caps or toques or stocking caps. 1 out. Brandon Crawford, strike 1. Crawford, .225 average and 40 at bats with a double and a homer. That's a base hit into the gap, left center field. Cordero, Crawford will hold it first with a single.
All right, time now for Toyota by the numbers. Toyota, let's go places. Born on this date, April 13th, well, Thomas Jefferson, Butch Cassidy, Samuel Beckett, and Hunter Pence. 1983 would be the year that he was born. So Hunter Pence, from all of us, we say happy birthday. And that's our Toyota by the numbers, brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
So he's born on the same date as one of our founding fathers, and also a famous outlaw. He was so famous that Paul Newman played him in the movie, Butch Cassidy. Strike 1 to Hunter Pence.
That was a good movie.
Robert Redford was his sidekick, the Sundance Kid. Big rip at that one, but back to the screen.
Oh, he was on it. The fastball from Ross, his base sinker is going to have movement coming back into the right-handed hitter. How do you hit a sinker ball, or you look up? And that's exactly what Hunter Pence had. He just missed it.
Pence had 2 hits last night, including a big 2-out, 2-run first inning single that capped a 3-run rally. And that is a foul. Crawford, when he saw the ball bounce away from Hedges, took off for second, but he'll have to go back. Foul ball.
Hey, better to go. Take off. You can always go back. I mean, all he's seeing that ball kicking away from Hedges. You never know.
That's really the one thing in baseball that you do know, is that you never know. Not this time. Hunter Pence down on strikes.
Well, that's the slider we're talking about. I mean, if you go out of the strike zone, below the strike zone, chasing that slider, you're going to have a rough night. Because the thing about the slider that Ross has, which is so unique, is it's a straight downer. It doesn't go across the plate away from a righty. It just goes straight down, and it's effectively a swing and miss pitch for both righties and lefties. And that's why it separates him from a lot of other slider throwers, just because of that tilt that he gets with it.
Gregor Blanco now. Just in this week, the Giants have seen some of the nastiest stuff that you'll see. Zach Godley had that curveball that kind of went straight down with Arizona, and Patrick Corbin, a wicked slider. Now Tyson Ross. 0-0 in the second. 2 down. Crawford at first. And he's back to the bag. Gregor Blanco had a single and a double and a walk last night. Austin Jackson. The Giants are hoping Jackson will be ready to go by tomorrow's game. Tomorrow and Sunday, the Padres have a left-handed starter going in each of those games. Strike 2 called to Blanco. 0-2 the count. Giants have a couple of hits against Ross. Ty Blach, he had a very quick first inning against the Padres. Here's Galvis throwing him out. One hit, one left. Renfroe coming up against Blach.
California Great America, the revolutionary new Railblazer. It opens this spring at California's Great America. Visit CaliforniaGreatAmerica.com. Last night, Chris Stratton was brilliant. 7 shutout innings. He allowed 1 hit, that to a pinch hit by a pitcher. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 101 pitches of brilliance, and that is our Great America play.
First time in his young big league career that he finished the 7th inning. So his longest outing as a big leaguer. Just impressive every which way that you look at it. There's ball 1 from Ty Blach to Hunter Renfroe, the young slugger, 26 years old, enormous power. And the curveball, he goes down, chases it, and a foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. That 1 hit by a pitcher who didn't even pitch. And there's been only one other time where a 1-hitter was thrown, and the only hit was by a pitcher who did not start the game. A guy named Mace Brown, Cubs and the Phillies back in 1935, 83 years ago. So a very unusual occurrence last night, based on who got the hit, as McCutcheon takes it 1 away. Clayton Richard came up as a pinch hitter for the starting pitcher in the 3rd inning.
Well, clean single. And we really shouldn't be that surprised. I mean, Clayton Richard can hit, but it is odd that a pinch hit by a pitcher is the only hit that the Padres get.
Clayton Richard is hitting .286, and he has a home run this year. There he is. He's scheduled to start tomorrow for the Padres against Derek Holland. First time in Major League history. And there's a ball inside. What was that note? One ball, no strikes. And it's 2-0 now to Villanueva. First time in Major League history since 1900 a pinch hitting pitcher recorded his team's only hit of the game. And he's a pitcher because that's his job, but he did not pitch in that game. Popped up foul and out of play by Villanueva, who Had a game this year with 3 home runs. And those have been his only home runs so far this year.
Well, he's a good mistake hitter. I mean, guys like that, you really have to make good location pitches to him. You hang something out of the plate up, especially off-speed stuff, he'll hurt you.
Just got a piece of that one. Stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But Richard got the hit, and then he got doubled up. That line drive we showed. Crawford caught the line drive. Richard thought it had bounced, so he ran towards second. Crawford's throw to first doubled him up. 3-2 now. Villanueva, who's from Guadalajara, Mexico. 26 years old. Padres think he can hit some pretty good numbers in home runs, and he draws a walk here, and that's the first base runner allowed by Ty Blach.
You're always mad at yourself when you put yourself in the stretch to get in the stretch for the first time in a game.
Freddie Galvis will come up now. Galvis, the former Philly, outstanding defensive shortstop. But the last couple of years, he started hitting very well and got off to a great start with the bat for the Padres. A switch hitter hitting .304. He's got a .418 on base average. And that's a called strike. Austin Hedges is on deck. 0-0 in the second. Galvis is not a big guy. Listed at 5 feet 9 inches tall. He's from Venezuela. And a ball and a strike. And another swinging strike on a blocked fastball.
Well, you mentioned it earlier that you don't see a lot of swing and miss with Ty Blach. I mean, it kind of reminds you of Kirk Reeder in that way, but you don't see a lot of loud contact either. And you could say the same thing about Woody, Kirk Reeder. See ya.
And that is all for Galvis.
A little cut fastball right down in the inside corner. Anytime Blach goes to that side of the plate, it's fun to watch Buster Posey frame pitch. Boom, he just sticks it. And it's very easy to take that ball and have your glove drop down below the strike zone. When that happens, you don't get the pitch. You've got to stick that location. Job well done by Posey.
Austin Hedges. You got to be careful with this guy. He's the young catcher, 25 years old. Second round draft choice. But he's got a lot of power.
You know, he's not a good hitter yet, but he's dangerous. And these guys are scary. I mean, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark, both sides of the field, at any time, in any count.
He hit 18 home runs last year. That's a foul that will go out of play. He also is known for his defense as a catcher. And watch this play from last night.
A pop-up. Now, there's a runner at first base. Brandon Crawford takes off. And Hedges sees this, and from the seat of his pants, gets the ball to Hosmer, and they double off Brandon Crawford. That's how the inning ends. That was a brilliant play from Hedges.
You won't see a better play than that from a catcher. Brandon Belt comes over and runs out of room. Hedges 18 homers, 387 official at bats last year, so about 1 homer every 21, 22 at bats, which is pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of them were clutch too. Late inning type home runs that gave him wins.
On the other side of things, he hit only .214 last year. So
that's why I'm saying he's not a good hitter yet, but he's dangerous.
And that is another strikeout. 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Ty Blach. Blach will be coming up. We go to the 3rd. San Francisco Giants history, and you fans get to pick the most memorable tournament style. It's like the NCAA tournament for great moments. To vote for tonight's matchup, go to NBCSportsBayArea.com or on Twitter at NBCS Giants. The winner of this round will be announced tonight on Giants Postgame Live over on NBC Sports Bay Area. Vote for your favorite moment between Cody Ross's 2 homers in Game 1 of the NLCS against Roy Halladay of the Phillies, or Juan Uribe's 2 home runs in the same inning against the Cubs in September of that year. Ty Block, the hitter. Block 1 for 4 so far this year. There's Galvis, long throw. Right there. 1 away. Block, you always get the impression when you watch Block play, he just loves the whole thing. He loves being in the middle of it. He loves competing. He loves hitting. He loves pitching. He loves fielding. No matter what it is, he loves it.
It's like Jim Barr. I mean, Jim Barr retired as a player in the big leagues, and he went on to pitch another 25 years of senior baseball. He just loves the game.
And he's coached Jim Barr?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about baseball. And Ty Block's the same deal. I mean, when he's done playing at the big league level, he'll be playing Sunday softball or Sunday baseball someplace. I have to say hardball. I don't think I can't see him at a Sunday softball game. But hardball, Bill Lee, he's almost 70 years old. He's still pitching.
The spaceman, who's from the Bay Area. Joe Panik popped out to third his first time. And it's a ball and a strike facing Tyson Ross. 3rd inning, 0-0 from Petco Park. Beautiful day in San Diego today. Temperatures got into the high 70s. And it's 2-1. Tomorrow's game will start about an hour and a half earlier, 5:40, with Derek Holland up against Clayton Richard. And the day game on Sunday at 1:10, Tyler Beede versus Joey Lucchesi. A couple of rookies face off. That's called a strike on the slider. 2-2. And both of those games will be carried on NBC Sports Bay Area, as well as the Giants KNBR radio network.
Look out.
And that got him
with a slider.
So Panik goes to first base.
Little slider that gets him right on the bottom of his right foot. So it looked like the shoe may have protected him. Still hurt. But better to be hit with a slider than a fastball.
Joe Panik, who robbed Eric Hosmer of a hit with one of the greatest plays we've ever seen in a World Series. In Game 7, no less. A critical play in that World Series. Brandon Belt, and that's called strike 1. Belt bunted for a hit his first time. There you see how they're playing it. 3 infielders on the right side, but Galvis had moved in from shortstop, trying to defend against a possible bunt. And he's moving in again now.
Well, it changes the whole thing when he put the bunt down. Boy, that pitch just missed. But think about this. Now that Galvis has to respect the bunt, that shortens his range because he has to play in at a shallow depth on the left side. He's the only guy over there on the left side of the infield. If Belt doesn't do that, he can play back to the cut of the grass in the outfield.
2-1 now to Belt. And Belt, who's had some success against Tyson Ross in the past, he's now 7 for 18, plus 3 walks against him, including that bunt single in the first inning. The outfield is shading him a bit toward left. Nobody's anywhere near the right field line. And it goes to 3-1.
That's such a tough pitch to lay off of. And we say, well, you have to lay off the one down below the strike zone. Well, that's easier said than done. That was a nice take from Brandon Belt, who has an excellent eye.
So McCutchen, he is on deck. Panik, the runner at first. Hosmer on the bag with him. 3-2.
Hey, we want to say hello to our old friend Lee Jones, who was an engineer with us for many years. who got a new knee today. So he's at home resting, watching the game. So Lee J, we're all thinking of you and hope you're feeling good. And hope that knee gets better quickly.
There goes Panic. And Belt off the fist, foul into the crowd.
That swing will not make his Christmas highlight film.
Now, when it's a 3-2 count, unlike a normal hit and run play, if it's not a strike, you don't have to swing. You're not obligated to swing.
You do not.
But he kind of swung like a guy who felt, well, I still feel obligated.
Well, you know, he's been looking at movement that's been going away from him, and all of a sudden Ross brings that movement in on his hands. It cut beautifully in on his hands, and he got surprised by it.
Panic is back. With 2 strikes, Galvis deep at short now and shaded toward the middle. There goes Panic. And that one is way out of the strike zone. And that puts 2 men on for the Giants. Both gifts from Tyson Ross.
A rally for free.
Andrew McCutcheon grounded into a force play his first time. Caught by Galvis, not in time at second. Panic just did get back to avoid being doubled up.
Well, and that's not easy to do either. I mean, to get back in time, your tendency when a guy hits the ball as hard as McCutcheon just did, if you're in scoring position, is to get a good jump. But you're also taught to freeze on a line drive, and Panic does so immediately. If he doesn't, he's going to get doubled up. Watch him freeze, boom, now he gets back. That's great base running.
Andrew McCutcheon, according to StatCast, that ball left his bat at 104 miles an hour.
Yeah, he barreled it.
That's some rather profound bad luck. And so on since they started measuring these things with StatCast, Major League Baseball, you barrel a ball 104 miles an hour, the average is over 640. That's in the batting average if you hit a ball that hard.
Yeah, that indeed was bad luck.
Posey high and foul off the right field line. Well down the line, but very much foul.
Well, Posey's up there looking for sink coming back into him. Now, for Posey, who has an inside-out approach, that is the best type of swing to beat sink. And what Ross has done in this at bat, he opened him up with a breaking ball, and then he followed it up with an 0-1 cutter with movement going away from him. So both times the movement has gone away. Both times Posey has not had good swings.
Buster hit a soft liner right back at Ross his first time. 2 on, 2 out. And Suaje, plenty of time, and the inning is over. Giants with a threat with 2 men stranded. Tie block, ready to go back to work. It's 0-0.
5 start. The first 7,500 kids will receive a pair of Hunter Pin socks courtesy of Central Oregon Visitors Association. You need tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Central Oregon. I guess Bend, that's part of Central Oregon, right?
Yeah.
This is my brother-in-law, Dan Allen, and his wife Sharon. They live up there. Beautiful country.
One of the best mountains I ever snowboarded, Mount Bachelor. This is a good one.
Carlos Asuaje leads off, takes a called strike from Ty Block. Tyson Ross, the pitcher, is on deck. 0-0, last of the third. And quickly 0-2.
I always thought it was an advantage for pitchers when they oppose one another if their rhythms were similar. If they work fast, it helps things. If you have a guy like Ty Block who likes to work quick and he's working opposite a deliberate worker, a pitcher with a slow rhythm, it can be a bit problematic. It can upset your timing. Tonight, Ross and Block are feeding off one another's rhythm. They're very similar. They both like to work quick.
Ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. 2 hits for the Giants. And the Padres have received a walk, but have not had a hit. Brandon Belt, and he'll take it himself. Out number 1. And now Ross, the pitcher, will come up. The Dodgers, you mentioned, coming in on the next homestand for the Giants. Washington comes in to start that homestand a week from Monday. And then the Dodgers come in for 4 games over the weekend. Final weekend of the month of April. Remember the makeup of the rainout last week. In fact, a week ago tonight, Giants and Dodgers got rained out. Will be the day game in the day-night separate admission doubleheader on Saturday the 28th. So that game will be played at 1:05, and then the regularly scheduled game will be at 7:05. Move back an hour. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tyson Ross. Ross is 0 for 2 as a hitter. One of his starts was in an American League park in Houston, where they used a DH. So he didn't hit. And it's 1-2. I have a thought just to help the American League out a little bit.
Yeah.
Designated hitter rule with this, the phenom who's playing for the Angels now, Shohei Ohtani, who's a pitcher and a hitter. Ty Block over to Belt, out number 2. Because when he pitches, he doesn't get to hit. They have the DH. Something wrong with that. One of their best hitters ends up not playing because it's him.
For now, that's the way it is.
Well, here's my suggestion. If the pitcher is listed as the DH, then he stays in even if he gets knocked out of the game as a pitcher.
I like that rule.
Because they're the same guy, the pitcher and the DH.
That's a good rule.
He's his own DH.
This is me raising my hand in support.
All right. So it's unanimous in this booth. Leadoff man, Franchi Cordero. A ball and a strike to count. 2 down, bases empty, 0-0 in the 3rd inning. The DH has sort of a whole culture of its own in the American League. And part of it is if the DH crosses that invisible line and takes a position on the field, you lose the DH. Crawford, well done to get a fast runner. 3 up, 3 down for the Giants. Longoria, Crawford, and that man, Hunter Pence, coming up. which is a little bit less than 2 minutes from now, NBC News will have an update for a few minutes on our flagship station, NBC Bay Area. And we will continue broadcasting on all of our NBC Bay Area Giants Television Network affiliates. And then we'll be back right after the news update on NBC. So just heads up on that. It'll be just a little over a minute before our Giants telecast will be preempted for just a few minutes by NBC News. And not just on the one station, our flagship station in the Bay Area, NBC Bay Area. Evan Longoria struck out his first time. Brandon Crawford on deck. Hunter Pence due up third against Tyson Ross. 0-0 here in the fourth inning. Giants no runs, 2 hits. The Padres no runs, no hits. As Ty Block has been superb. Oh, nasty. And that's all for Longoria. Has struck out twice. Here's Brandon Crawford now. He singled his first time. Pitchers duel going here in game 2 of this series. And a very good eye there. That's the idea. You mentioned it earlier, Mike. Comes in around the knees. That slider, you better not swing at it.
That's almost impossible to lift.
That one he got up a little bit, and Crawford hit it hard. Base hit, his second of the game, as Renfroe comes up with it. We are going to send it to NBC News on our flagship station, and we'll be back on the other end. John Miller, Mike Krukow with you as we continue with the Giants Padres telecast from San Diego. 0-0 in the fourth inning. We'll continue in all of our affiliates on the Giants NBC Bay Area Television Network. Way outside for ball 1 to Pence. A nice save there by Austin Hedges. Pence struck out his first time. Hunter Pence has not yet homered this year. He's had 42 official at bats. Well, he could not lay off that low slider.
Well, that's about the 3rd time he swung at it and missed it, and he's just not picking it up. Remember, he's sitting in a 1-0 count. I mean, he's looking for a pitch, the location. In his mind, that thing sold fastball all the way until the very end. And what tips a pitch is spin, and he's not seeing it on that slider.
Cold strike 2.
And you saw Hunter Pence wince a little bit taking that pitch. You're supposed to get a couple hangers on your birthday, aren't you? And today is Hunter Pence's birthday.
One and 2 the count. And there's the slider in the dirt. Crawford, and he never made it to second base. A strikeout into a double play. The inning is over. Pirela, Hosmer, and Renfroe coming up for the Padres. 4th inning. Ty Block, who has been excellent for 3. Now in his second go round in the batting order. Pirela, number 2 hitter in the order. And he curves him for a called strike. Pirela grounded out to short in the 1st inning. Eric Hosmer is on deck, and then Hunter Renfroe, the cleanup man, is due up 3rd. Up the first base line. Belt's got it. He'll take it himself. 1 away. John Miller, Mike Krukow back with you on NBC Bay Area, our flagship station on the Giants NBC Bay Area television network. And Hunter Pence struck out, and when that ball bounced in the dirt, Brandon Crawford thought maybe it had gotten away from the catcher, and he got thrown out at second by Austin Hedges to end the inning. So a strikeout into an inning-ending double play. Crawford had hit a 1-out single to get aboard. Here is Hosmer, and the called strike.
Well, you said he never got to the bag, and this is the whole story. He kind of swung wide. He just tried to become invisible. It's not easy to do.
Joe Panic, and Hosmer is 0 for 2 in this one. He's grounded out twice.
There has not been a hard hit ball off of Ty Block. I mean, he has just been masterful at mixing speeds, mixing movement, mixing location.
He's retired 11 Padres, and 7 of them have grounded out against him, and he's had 3 strikeouts. Just 1 fly ball to the outfield by this man, Hunter Renfroe. That one is a shot to left and right for the man who is celebrating his birthday today, Hunter Pence. That is a very quick inning. We go to the 5th. 0-0. For the grind, and that comes through every time. Go see your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Gregor Blanco leads off for the Giants, 5th inning. This has been all about the pitchers so far. It's 4 scoreless innings, and you've got the White Shark at the plate, and a White Shark fan in the stands here, dressed for the occasion.
Well, we flew into San Diego yesterday, and that lady was on the flight that we came in with, and very bubbly, loves her Giants, and indeed a great Gregor Blanco fan. She's a teacher. Found out all about her.
Two and 1 the count to Blanco. And he laid off that one just a little bit high, apparently. 3 and 1. Maybe a little off the outside. Blanco grounded out to short his first time. Ty Blach is on deck. It's called a strike. It looked like he was taken all the way on that one. What do you think?
Well, yeah, he's doing the bat deke, I guess.
Wow, that pitch is not hittable.
Well, if you need help with a consumer problem, contact NBC Bay Area Responds or Telemundo 48 Responde. They've recovered more than $1.5 million for Bay Area consumers. Call 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com.
Ty Blach grounded out to short his first time. And cuts a little bit off the outside as Pence and Posey talk it over. Two and 0. 5 strikeouts for Blach. There they are. Buster Posey and his good friend Hunter Pence.
That's right. Or is it Hunter Pence and his good friend Buster Posey?
All depends on who hits the home run.
That's exactly right. Still one of the greatest calls you ever had.
2-1 the count to Ty Blach. Shallow right center. They're converging in this one, and Renfro takes it, the right fielder. Asuaje, the second baseman. Cordero, the center fielder, also in the vicinity. So Blach is gone, 2 down, and Joe Panik will come up. Giants have 3 hits, 2 of them by Brandon Crawford, 1 a bunt hit by Brandon Belt. Joe Panik has popped up to third and been hit by a pitch. Strike 1. No runs, 3 hits for the Giants. Padres have not yet had a hit. They had 1 base runner, that was Villanueva, who walked with 1 out in the second against Blach. Called strike 2. Giants put 7 runs on the board last night, a 3-run first and a 4-run 6th, but nothing tonight. That is too low. Wisely taken by Joe Panik. 1-2. Brandon Belt will be next.
We first saw Tyson Ross. I mean, he was 95, 97 miles per hour on the fastball with big time sink, and his slider was in the low 90s. I mean, it was just some of the best stuff I'd ever seen.
That'll go out of play off the third base side.
He didn't have a great command with it, but there were times when he was just unhittable. I don't care what team you threw at him. He's in the 7th year. Big league level. He's lost some of that velocity. He's picked up another pitch. And when he's locating down around the knees, I mean, he's tough.
That's a base hit to right field. First hit of the game for Joe Panik. And that's the Giants' 4th hit overall. You think he's a Giants fan?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yep. I'm going to vote him best dressed tonight, right there.
He's definitely dressed for the occasion. A lot of Giants fans call this AT&T Park South. And there's generally a lot of Giants fans who come down here to see the Giants play. Brandon Belt, ball 1. He has had a bunt single and has drawn a walk. Took a look at Ron Wotus, the third base coach there. Galvis, the shortstop, came moving in before that last pitch. There you see Galvis on the left side of the screen, trying to take away the idea of a bunt. Belt right through the middle of the defense, and it is a base hit. And Panik, as the ball got away from Asuaje, goes over to third.
Well, you're going to get a good jump with 2 outs. And the play's right there in front of Joe Panic. Once he saw Suaje leave his feet and dive, when that ball kicked away from his glove, just an easy take of third base. And they stack up the defense. He hits it right in the middle. So, a little two-out rally again for the Giants. Another opportunity. They've created opportunities about every inning against Ross. They just have not been able to get the hit that takes advantage of it.
Andrew McCutchen, he was up with 2 men on and 1 out in the 3rd inning and just blistered one, a laser beam that was caught by the shortstop. There's ball 1.
Take a look at Joe Panic. There's the 2-out jump we're talking about. He's going on contact. And there he sees the play right in front of him. That's one of those plays as a baseman. You don't need to rely on your third base coach. That play's right there. You make the call.
Very high in the air, right out to straightaway center. Cordero. And the inning is over. 2 men stranded. The Giants have left 6 men on in 5 innings. Ty Block back to the mound with Villanueva coming up. They make it easy to access your favorite entertainment at home and on the go. Xfinity, the future of awesome. The Giants at Lancaster on Wednesday, and Gio Broussard was first base, and Jalen Miller, the second baseman, and they both hit for the cycle in that same game. San Jose had 18 runs on 25 hits, and those two both hit for the cycle. It's never happened in Major League history. Apparently it has happened in the California League before, but an extremely rare occurrence. Just one guy hitting for the cycle is a very rare occurrence, but for 2 of them to do it in the same game, I've never heard of that happening.
Yeah,
before.
very cool. And you know what? Those 2 guys will be joined forever because of it.
Just fouled off the bat of Villanueva, just outside the bag at third. The Giants got to town here last night and shut out the Padres on 1 hit. Stratton, 7 innings, Law 2. And now 4 more shutout innings from Tyler Block to start this game.
I think that fan could have picked a better person to give that foul ball to, like that guy. Well, I think it found its way to him. Nice going. It's a Rawlings guy.
That's very softly hit, barehanded, and it's a hit for Villanueva. All or nothing for Longoria. He was very deep for the powerful right-handed hitter. And even if he had come up with it, maybe he would have had a shot at him, but maybe not.
Well, you can see how deep Longoria is. I think this is the toughest play for a third baseman. He's got to crash, and it's got to be bare hand, and it's got to be perfect. And this is the first hit of the game for the Padres. And it comes on a swing and bunt, basically.
So another ground ball induced by Ty Blach, but this one hits so poorly it ends up being a hit. Freddie Galvis will come up. He struck out looking his first time. He skies one foul, and this will go back out of play.
I mean, he was really coming in hard. It hits him just a little high on the palm of the hand. And no way you can get a grip on that. Villanueva's not a burner going that line, but he's going to put enough pressure on you to where if you're a third baseman, everything about that play has got to be clean.
First hit by a Padres hitter in this series, in the 14th inning of this series for the Padres. Their only hit last night was by a pitcher who was used as a pinch hitter, Clayton Richard. The whole lineup otherwise had been 0 for the series until that infield hit. Crawford far to his right, and he gets the lead runner. Well done. With Panic covering, one away.
You know, we've been bragging about this Giants defense this year, and this is really a great example of it. I mean, you're talking about an inning with a leadoff base hit, and Crawford's got to come up with an out. There was no play at first base. It was going to be second base or nothing. And you can see the appreciation from Ty Blach. And that's the type of stuff that these guys have been doing consistently since day one of the season. And when you expect that from a three-time Gold Glover like Crawford, that was a great play.
Austin Hedges, powerful young catcher of the Padres. Ball one to him. He struck out his first time. The Giants middle infielders, Crawford at short, Panic at second, pulled in a bit, double play depth. And Panic is well over toward the middle at second base. 1-1.
Say it just about every night. Last night we said about Crawford going back on a pop-up, and he had to go about almost 85 feet to get this thing, but it wasn't just the pop-up. He had the presence of mind to think that he might be able to get a double play in the back end of it at first base.
Popped up and out of play. I thought that was, looking back as to how that game played out, a key play, because it looked like it was going to fall for a hit, and he just wouldn't allow it. That would have put two men on with only one man out, and the cleanup hitter coming up next, when Chris Stratton was still just trying to get his bearings out there in the very first inning. And then instead it was an out. The next guy hit a fly ball, and just like that the inning was over. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Hedges. Galvis at first. 1 out in the inning. 0-0 here in the 5th. That's a base hit to right field. For Hedges. He didn't look like a .214 hitter right there, which is what he hit last year, his first full year in the big leagues.
And I think that's the adjustment that he made. I mean, I think Hedges goes up there, and most of the time he's trying to leave earth because he does have power. You mentioned he had 18 home runs last year, but I think in this particular instance he was thinking right field, and that is a concession to a guy who's pitching well. Nice at bat.
So now Carlos Asuaje, second baseman. Asuaje, his bat has not gotten going yet. He's 0 for 1 in this game. Grounded out to first his first time. Along the left field line, a long run for Pence. Does he have room? No.
Don't get hurt, big fella. Especially not on your birthday.
Strike 1 to Asuaje. Tyson Ross, the pitcher, is on deck. Padres with their first threat in this game. Galvis at second in scoring position. Hedges at first. Too high.
Talked about Timmons being a low ball umpire, and that really is an example of it. He didn't give me the pitches at the top of the strike zone. That certainly could have been called a strike. But he's been consistent. He hasn't given that pitch all night to either pitcher. It's all you can ask for from an umpire.
Belt, and he boots it, picks it back up, and he threw a changeup. And out at first is Aswahe. I was surprised at that call.
I'm not sure if that's going to stand. They're going to look at Rob Drake, the first base umpire, making the out call, to our surprise. So Aswahe staying at first base.
See Mark McGuire on the phone to the clubhouse. Looked like the clubhouse is telling him to take a look at it. Well, he looks safe there.
Yeah, he's safe.
So based on that replay, this should not take very long. That looked like a double play ball. We were just talking about the defense. And Belt is usually excellent at starting that double play. The only thing that did happen there, Mike, the left hand looked like he hit the shoe of Ty Block when he got to the bag. No, he's on the bag there.
I'll tell you what, Aswahe's fortunate he didn't hurt his wrist. I mean, that's the risk you take when you go headfirst into a base. I mean, he slams his left hand into the base. I'm not really sure why we're taking this long.
And he is safe. So, the ball, when it was hit, you thought perhaps it had a chance of being an inning-ending double play. Instead, they get nobody. So Tyson Ross, the pitcher, comes up now to try and help his own cause. The Padres with their best scoring chance of this series.
Yeah, and Ross is a good candidate for a double play. Giants are going to take away the bunt, playing Belt in on the grass at first base side.
Tyson Ross is 0 for 3 as a hitter this year, but his career batting average .201 for 152 at bats. And Ty Block has started up behind him. 2 balls, no strikes. 3 base runners. Galvis at third, Hedges at second, Aswahe at first.
Well, 3 pretty easy takes, and now the take sign is going to be on. You might even get 2 take signs from Andy Green, the skipper of the Padres.
Three and 1. Definitely taking there. Strike 2 call.
Take it all the way.
What about 3 and 2? Still taking?
No, he'll swing it now.
He'd have to be a really bad hitter to be given a take sign on 3 and 2. That's a base hit. Galvis scores and Hedges is held at third. And now the Padres, they have visions of a big inning. Still only 1 out as we go to the top of the batting order.
That's going to bring Kurt Young out of the Giants dugout to come out there and try and slow this rhythm down. The rhythm that has really all of a sudden started to pick up its pace in the Padre dugout. That's pretty impressive at bat there from Tyson Ross to go the opposite way. But both balls that have been hard in this inning have been hit to right field. One by Hedges and second by Ross. 3-2, you gotta challenge. I mean, it was up. He stays inside it beautifully. I mean, that's impressive at bat.
Now here is Franchy Cordero. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, back in the dugout. Giants looking for a double play ball here. Ball one.
Franchy, I saw the guy's name and I said, well, I wonder what that's short for. So I looked it up in the book, and you know what it's short for?
Franchy.
Franchy.
1-1.
Now, one thing Block's been able to do with Cordero is pitch down and into him. That's 3 times he's gone to that location, and 3 times Cordero has swung through it.
Cordero has struck out and grounded out to short. Belt goes home in time with the force out. And it ended up really being the easiest option for him. 2 down.
Well, that was the momentum of the play, coming right towards home. Not for a second. Well, if it was closer to the back, he may have had time to step on first base and then throw home, but he did not. Momentum of the play takes him right to Posey, and he throws a strike right to the chest, and they get the force. Nicely done. One of Belt's strength is his arm, and that was a perfect throw.
The Padres were checking with the video room again. It seemed pretty plain that Buster Posey had his foot on the plate and the throw in time. Then wanted to double check. So here is Jose Pirela. The bases are loaded. 1 run is in. The Padres lead 1-0. A rare Giants error. Brandon Belt. And only the 5th error committed by the Giants this year. Although, oddly enough, Belt has committed 3 of them. Saved there by Buster Posey with a fast runner over at third base, Carlos Asuaje. Pirela came up last year and hit .288 for the Padres, second half of the season. And he's hitting .290 so far this year. Grounded out twice in this game. Base hit to right. Asuaje scores. Ross, the pitcher, coming to third. He's held up. 2-0 San Diego.
Again to right field. So it has become a theme here with the Padres. They have made adjustments and they're going the other way against Block. Another solid approach. Another solid line drive. Ball outside at the belt. No intent to try and pull it. Just take what he gives you. And that was right field by design.
Ty Block, as you see Kurt Young on the phone to the bullpen. Block has now thrown 26 pitches in this inning. And now the Padres' best hitter, the veteran, Eric Hosmer, who has hit a comebacker and has grounded out to second. He's 0 for 2 in the game. Ball 1. 72nd pitch of the game for Block. So it's just that so many of them have just come in this inning. Pierce Johnson, the right-hander, starts to throw for the Giants in the bullpen with Matt Hergis, the bullpen coach, alongside. That's off his foot. 1-1 the count. Tyson Ross, the runner at third. Cordero at second. Pirela at first. There's Ross. Cordero, then Pirela, who just got the RBI hit. A ball and a strike to the dangerous Eric Hosmer. Ground ball right to Joe Panic. And the inning is over. Could have been a lot worse. 8-men bat. They get 2 runs. Buster Posey coming up. Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Petco Park, very close to the historic Gaslamp Quarter of San Diego. Inside the ballpark, the Padres now have gone ahead for the first time in this series. Time block, one of the 2 runs allowed in the 5th inning scored as unearned runs, but because you can't assume that a ground ball would have been a double play, but it was a ball that was hit hard enough to have been a double play, but the Giants ended up getting nobody out on the error by Brandon Belt. Had it been turned into a double play, the inning would have been over right there. Buster Posey, ball 1. Tyson Ross with a lead now. He's allowed 5 hits, but the Giants have left 6 men on base against him. It's a ball and a strike to Buster.
You know, it's rare when you see Buster Posey off balance on a pitch that he's seen several times in a game. Usually he'll identify and he'll make adjustments, but he has not been able to pick up that slider from Ross.
Galvis from deep in the hole. 1 away. So Buster is 0 for 3. Now Evan Longoria, who has struck out twice, comes up. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Padres. Their runs and all of their hits all came together in the 5th inning, plus the big error. And it could have been a lot worse. They had the bases loaded when the inning ended. Strike 1 to Longoria. Brandon Crawford is on deck. The Dodgers are hosting Arizona. Arizona has a 5-1 lead back of Zach Greinke in the last of the 4th inning. That ball is hit well deep into left center field, going way back there. Pirela, he's got it.
Wow, I didn't think that Pirela was going to have a chance on it. I mean, they cheated him over the gap in right center, but Longoria gets this ball pretty good. He's starting to measure it out, and in the end, it just gets about a step and a half onto the warning track.
Now, people who are in this ballpark all the time tell us that you can't really tell about the wind from any of the flags inside the ballpark, but there's a flag on top of a building out beyond center field, and they say that will accurately depict what the wind is actually doing to a fly ball, and that flag out there, it is, indicates that there's a little bit of wind blowing into the ballpark, although just as we're talking about it, it shifts a little bit. That's been blowing into the ballpark pretty steadily throughout the game.
You know, I just don't think it's that much wind that would really alter a fly ball.
Oh no, that ball would have been 20 rows deep if it wasn't for that wind, that near hurricane. That's a base hit. That's 3 straight hits for Brandon Crawford.
Well, he's not having a problem seeing Tyson Ross. In fact, the left-handers in the lineup have all the hits in tonight's ballgame. Panik has 1, Belt's got 2, Crawford's got 3. But the guys from the right side just have not been able to pick him up. That had some hang to it too. I mean, this is a good pitch to hit. Digs it out, bent arm swing.
Hunter Pence, on the other hand, a right-handed hitter, has struck out twice. The Giants right-handed hitters, McCutcheon's 0 for 3, Posey's 0 for 3, Longoria 0 for 3, Pence 0 for 2. Even Ty Block 0 for 2. Hunter Pence on his birthday, still without a home run this year. Crawford will not tempt fate this time. Pence struck out on a ball in the dirt in the 4th inning. Crawford gambled that maybe the ball was going to get far enough away from Hedges to make it to second, but it did not. Hedges recovered it and threw him out by plenty at second. He never even really quite got to second base. Two and 1 on a 2-0 count. He threw that low slider.
Just not seeing it. I mean, it is a unique pitch simply because of the break that it has on it. It's not the normal slider spin you see.
Galvis, Asuaje covering for the force out on Crawford. Kansas 0 for 3. 2-0 San Diego. A week from Monday, it'll be Washington in town. Then the Dodgers come in 2 weeks from tonight, and there's a new game time for the Saturday game, the 28th. Instead of 6:05, it's now a 7:05 start. That's the second half of the day-night doubleheader. And for that game, that 7:05 start on the 28th, the first 25,000 fans attending will receive a Brandon Crawford Gold Glove Gnome presented by AAA to commemorate the third straight Gold Glove won by Crawford. SFGiants.com. Hunter Renfroe leads off here for the Padres. And the count is 1-1. Renfroe is flied out to right and lined out to left. Villanueva will follow. Ball is hammered in the right center field, and McCutcheon's going to have to go chase. Well, that ball just took off, and it's a stand-up double for Hunter Renfroe.
Another hit to right field from a right-handed hitter off Belt, and that has been the approach that this lineup has made the adjustment with. One thing with guys like Renfroe, I mean, when you make mistakes up, you pay for it. I mean, it's a line drive that gets backspin on it, and it just soars. It gives you an idea of the strength that he has. McCutcheon had no chance. So once again, back in the stretch, and it becomes a stress inning immediately.
So here's Villanueva, who has walked. He got that 2-run fifth inning rally started with an infield hit, a little dribbler up the third base side. With Longoria playing very deep. Longoria tried for the barehanded pickup and could not handle it. And even if he had, there was no guarantee he would have gotten it. Villanueva has not yet been retired. He also walked in the second inning. That's a called strike on the inside. It's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, and he's pitching for the strikeout. Runner at second base, nobody out. That's what your goal is if you're on the mound. You want a non-productive out here, and you're going to try and take care of it yourself.
He's had 3 strikeouts in the game. A bloop. There's nobody out there, and it's a base hit. And here comes Renfroe around. He's going to score, and it's a bloop double for Villanueva. 3-0 Padres.
That wasn't a bad pitch either. He's got an 0-2 count, and he tries to go above the hands on the inside corner. And this is the problem with guys who have strength. They could take a good pitch, and they can hit it off the label, and they can throw it over an infielder's head, find a hole, and this winds up being a fang. And right now, Ty Block's pitching for his life. Pierce Johnson's ready to go in the Giants bullpen.
Now Freddie Galvis, who has struck out and grounded into a force play. Runner at second, nobody out, a run in. And through. And Villanueva will come around to score. 4-0 San Diego. Three straight hits to start the inning for the Padres. 2 runs in. You see Pierce Johnson ready in the bullpen. Block is due up second in the 7th inning, and I'm sure Bruce Bochy's preference is for him to finish this inning, and then he can pinch hit for him. But
now, one thing that Bruce Bochy has, though, is a pretty rested bullpen. He only had to use one guy last night, Derek Loff, through 2 innings, and he's going to go to that bullpen right now.
And he is not going to make a double switch here with nobody out. So Ty Block, who carried a no-hitter into the 5th inning, now departs in the 6th inning with nobody out, trailing 4-0. San Diego has now had 4 hits in 6 at bats with runners in scoring position in this game. All of those hits and all of those at bats have come in just the last 2 innings. Pierce Johnson takes over, and there is nary an out here in the 6-2. Quick runs have already scored in the inning.
6th game for Pierce Johnson. He's after a nice start. Just 3 hits allowed in 7 innings with 4 strikeouts and 3 walks. A converted starter. Johnson can go low to mid-90s with his fastball velocity. He can 2 and 4 seam it, and he'd give you a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Johnson, as you saw there, he's only allowed 3 hits in his first 7 innings of pitching for the Giants. Ball 1.
Well, you're coming into a situation with an inherited runner and nobody out. You're pitching for the ground ball, and his best bet to get that ground ball is his sinker and his slider. He's got to get the ball down.
One and one. Arizona leads the Dodgers 5-1 in the top of the 5th inning in LA on the out-of-town scoreboard. Colorado won in Washington for the 2nd day in a row, 2-1 over the Nats. 2-1 the count. How about Colorado going to Washington with all of the hitters on that Nationals ball club? The Nationals have scored 2 runs in the 2 games.
Well, and today before the game, I watched the Open with Bob Carpenter and FP Santangelo, the broadcasters for the Nationals. And they said the ballpark was live. You're going to see home runs today. And their scout reports are always good.
Blanco in a little bit. And that is the first out of the inning. Hedges is retired.
So on a day that was really live in Washington, just 3 runs scored. That says a lot about the guys that pitched in that game.
Washington had Tanner Roark. And he gave up 2 runs and lost. Swahe takes a called strike.
I think April's the weirdest month. I mean, it's cold. I mean, the guys, you know, you're not as good a baseball player in cold weather as you are in warm weather. It's just not possible. Ball doesn't carry. Ballparks aren't live.
Back out of play, strike 2. Kyle Freeland, the rookie left-hander who was so impressive last year. He was a rookie last year. Started that game, did not finish the 5th inning, and then the bullpen went the last 4 and a third for the Rockies. That was a big point of emphasis for them in the offseason, was to build an even stronger bullpen, and the bullpen looked awfully strong today. That's high and outside. The Padres just played in Denver. They won the first 2 games of that series before losing Wednesday. There was a little bad blood there, and suspensions were announced today. Luis Perdomo, the pitcher who hit, or he didn't even hit him, he threw behind Arenado. Arenado charged the mound afterward, and that's when the brawl began. Perdomo got 5 games. And Buddy Bauman, the man who replaced him on the mound, got a game. And Arenado also got a 5-game suspension, as did Gerardo Parra of the Rockies. Now they could all appeal those.
5 games, that's a pretty good chunk. They don't get paid in those days either.
2-2 the count, and he's way outside. Swahe deep in the box, his back foot on the back line of the batter's box, as you see right there in the overhead shot. Galvis the runner at first, 1 out in the inning, 3-2. Galvis is not running. Strike 3 call. This was Wednesday at Coors Field. And then the throw right behind Arenado.
You saw Freddie Galvis, the shortstop, come in and throw his glove, and he didn't get fined. That should have been at least 50 cents.
Well, I believe he did get fined. Those were just the suspensions. There were also some fines announced without suspension.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy. I mean, I've seen pitchers throw the gloves at guys who are charging it, but I don't think I've ever seen another player come in and wing his glove at somebody.
Tyson Ross, he's the one who got the hit that broke the scoreless streak for the Padres. A bases loaded single to right in the 5th inning against Ty Blach. Galvis is back to the bag standing.
That's why I say 50 cents fine at least.
He'll appeal it. I'm not paying more than a quarter, and that's it.
If you throw your glove, they should take it away.
Yeah, make him play without the glove. You don't want the glove? 1 ball, 1 strike. Dwayne Kuiper said that whenever, as a player, when he would make an error, that what he wanted to do is go to the nearest body of water, a lake, an ocean, and just throw that glove away. That's too high. 2-1.
Well, he also wore the same glove for about 10 years.
He did make too many errors.
No, he was
My
good.
wife found a glove that washed up on the beach over near Half Moon Bay one day. And she called Dwayne Kuiper to get his advice on how to take care of this glove to bring it back to life. And he told her the story about throwing the glove away when he made an error. And he said,
all right, here's one glove throw from Perdomo. But if you watch Galvis, he'll come into your screen here. He's got the long hair. And he wings his glove at him. Freddie, what are you doing?
Freddie Galvis was fined, as was A.J. Ellis and also Herman Marquez. That's the strikeout for Tyson Ross. 2 more runs for the Padres. 4-0 San Diego. On to the 7th inning.
Frisbee and Therese Vignal bring you a fresh take on the game and the season on Giants Outsiders on NBC Sports Bay Area. You'll see it after postgame live on every 7 p.m. night game broadcast on NBC Sports Bay Area. Check it out.
So we head into the late innings now in San Diego. And the Giants are trailing the Padres 4-0. Gregor Blanco will lead off here against Tyson Ross, and Pablo Sandoval has come out on deck for the Giants with the pitcher due up second. And ball 1. Sam Dyson is warming up in the Giants bullpen. There he is, number 49, along with Matt Hergis, the bullpen coach. There's Sandoval on deck. Blanco bounces a foul. Blanco has grounded out to short and struck out. Tyson Ross has 5 strikeouts in the game. Only 1 walk allowed. And that's out of play. The Giants drew 8 walks here last night. And 19 walks in their previous 3 games altogether. Giants were dead last in the National League by far until those 3 games in terms of drawing walks. And I guess Alonzo Powell had a meeting with the hitters before the game yesterday and said, hey, what you guys are known for is battling. As there's a bloop over the middle. Galvis has it. Not in time.
That was a great play. I mean, that's the big leagues right there, every part of it. I mean, the effort from Galvis, the effort from Hosmer, and the effort from Blanco. And they're going to look at this. I mean, he's going hard to his left. And Blanco does indeed beat it. The fact that he even got a close play out of this play is remarkable. But the Giants get what they want. They get a leadoff hitter on. They need to make an answer right now, down 4-0. It's an important inning.
Pablo Sandoval, the pinch hitter for Pierce Johnson, who pitched one scoreless inning. Giants have 7 hits in the game against Tyson Ross now. Sandoval, 3 hits, 14 at bats. It's 0-1. Pablo has not yet had a pinch hit. He's 0 for 3 in these pinch hit at bats. Two quick strikes on him. Facing Tyson Ross here. Pablo has had little success in the past against Ross. 4 for 11, a .364 average against him. Padres bullpen is busy now for the first time.
Well, I think the pitch count is dictating the activity in the Padres bullpen. They had 97 pitches. It's early in the year.
Craig Stammen, who's had a great start for the Padres this year, out of the bullpen, getting ready. And there's pitch number 98 thrown by Tyson Ross. Leadoff man Joe Panik on deck. 2-2 the count to Pablo. Giants are trailing 4-0 here in the 7th. Blanco back to the bag. Into the watchful eye of Jose Alguacil.
I mean, normally you'd see the Giants take off against Tyson Ross. I mean, he's really slow out of the stretch. One of the slowest guys on this Padres staff. But down 4-0, I mean, you really can't take a chance unless you know you can steal that base.
Off the foot, ouch.
And the other thing you have to deal with is Austin Hedges. I mean, he's got a real strong arm.
Plate umpire Tim Timmons dusted off the plate. Gave Pablo a little extra time to shake off the pain of that foul ball. 2-2 the count. Blanco at first. Suaje to Galvis, and Galvis drops the ball, and safe is the call. Everybody's safe.
Well, I mean, you have a tendency when you're a really great infielder, try and get a little greedy. I mean, here with a 4-0 lead, you probably should have been happy with just the 1 out. I don't know if they could have back-ended the play and gotten Sandoval, but Galvis wanted it all. I mean, he's very quick on the exchange, and he could not get a grip on it. That's going to be the last pitch for Tyson Ross.
So Craig Stammen will be brought in. Error by Freddie Galvis, and let's see if the Giants can cash that in. Top of the order coming up. Panik, Belt, McCutcheon. We'll be right back. Here in the 7th inning, 2 men on, nobody out. The top of the order coming up against Craig Stammen, the veteran right-hander. Used to be with the Washington Nationals. He became a Padre last year, and he's off to a sensational start this season.
Well, it's hard to get much better than that. 8 1/3. He's given up a hit, a walk. He struck out 8. He's got 4 pitches. I mean, he showed that warming up. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. But he's more of a sinker slider type guy. I mean, he's a ground ball guy. You bring him into an existing inning.
Joe Panic, 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch as well. Strike 1 the count.
And his velocity is going to be right around 90. Saw the first one at 89.
Blanco at second, Sandoval at first. That is along the left field line, and it's in there, base hit. Blanco's going to be waved home. Here comes the throw in. Off the glove, and it bounces into foul ground. Pablo thought about moving up, then thought better of it. And so, Joe Panic has knocked in the Giants' first run of the game. It is 4-1 Padres.
And that's what the movement of the fastball from Stammen's going to do to a left-hander. It's going to go away from him. And if you can go the opposite way, you have a better chance to beat him. And that's exactly what Joe Panic did.
That run charged to Tyson Ross. Only the second hit allowed this season by Stammen. So here's Brandon Belt. Belt has been on base 3 straight times. A bunt single in the first, a walk in the third, and a single in the 5th. Strike 1 called.
It's knee-high paint in the outside corner. Perfect location. Pitch Belt out there at the knees in the outside corner. And he'll go with you to the left, and he's got power that side of the field.
Andrew McCutchen is on deck. Belt is the possible tying run of the game. Back out of play.
Well, they've done already what they needed to do. They need to make an answer down 4 runs here in the 7th inning. Now it's an opportunity to get greedy. And this is the part of the lineup where they have their power. I mean, one swing, as you mentioned, could tie it up, which is why when you step in that batter's box, you represent that run.
And you say an opportunity to get greedy?
Yeah.
As I once saw in a movie?
Yeah.
Greed is good.
Greed is good.
Strike 3 call.
Got to protect with 2 strikes. This has happened quite a bit with Belt this year. I mean, he stood there looking at strike 3. Is it a strike? Well, yeah, it has been. And when you're down 3 runs, you've got to protect.
So now Andrew McCutchen. If Belt was up there, he's the possible tying run.
Well, at the very least, they needed a productive out.
McCutchen is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard twice. That's a double play ball. Galvis to second, Asuaje to first, and the inning is over. Four to 1 Padres. for you. Changing 27 laws and policies while investigating more than $10 billion in public money. If you have a tip, contact NBC Bay Area at 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/WeInvestigate. NBC Bay Area, we change laws, we change lives, we investigate. For the Giants, Sam Dyson in from the bullpen as we head to the last of the 7th inning.
Well, Dyson with an opportunity to put up a shutdown inning, and he has had a rocky start. 8 hits and 4 1/3. And for Dyson, what we've come to find out about him, he's a guy, when he gets out of whack mechanically, it affects everything. Like most pitchers, location, movement, velocity. When he's in the set of mechanics, he's almost unhittable with his movement. When he's right, you're going to see a 95+ mile-an-hour sinker, slider, and a curveball. But right now, he's a little out of whack, and he's looking for those good mechanics to get back in his groove.
Ball 1 to Franchy Cordero. Oh, a high drive, deep right center field. Still going, way back there. It is gone. So they get that run back right now. 5-1 Padres.
Well, we always talk about hitters that will pull off a pitch, and it can happen to a pitcher too. When you fly that front side and you lose the ability to use your lower body and create drive that cracks the whip and gives you your velocity, your movement, and your ability to command your pitches. And right now, he can't get out front. He can't get out where he needs to be with that release point.
Here is Pirela. Franchy Cordero with his 2nd home run of the year and his 12th at bat. This is only his 3rd game. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Pirela. And Dyson, the sinker baller, has now allowed 2 home runs. He's only pitched 4 1/3 innings this year. Crawford. Pirela is out number 1. Pirela 1 for 4. His 1 hit was an RBI single in the 5th inning, knocking in the 2nd Padre run.
It is so frustrating for an athlete to be out of control with your mechanics, either at the plate or on the mound. And with Dyson, I mean, you just got to keep throwing him out there until he finds it. Because when he finds it, he can be one of the more dominant pitchers stuff-wise in the game.
Eric Hosmer, 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. It's high and foul and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. D-backs still leading the Dodgers 5-1. That's in the last of the 6th inning now in LA. Atlanta beat the Cubs this afternoon at Wrigley Field 4-0. Cardinals beat the Reds 5-3. The Mets won again 6-5 over the Milwaukee Brewers in New York. Two and 1. How about the Mets? What a start for them, the best in their history. They are 11-1 now.
And they've taken 2 pretty substantial injuries to their club this last week.
Their top 2 catchers both went down. Joe Panic, and he throws out Hosmer. That's the 3rd consecutive ground ball from Hosmer to Joe Panic. So two down. Here is Hunter Renfroe. He led off the 6th inning with a double, which he clobbered out into deep right center. And it ended up starting a 2-run rally. They lead now 5-1. 1-1.
Nice first pitch breaking ball. If you're taking your bats against Dyson, you're going to go up there looking for sink, high velocity sink, especially on a first pitch, especially if you got power like Renfroe. And for Dyson, just stealing strike one with that little flop curve ball.
Renfroe has got so much ability. Off the outside this time. 2-1. Last year, he hit some tape measure homers, but he struck out such a huge number of times. They finally sent him back to the minor leagues for a little bit to try to get it put back together. Called strike 2. He got the low strike there. Renfroe ended up hitting 26 home runs in the big leagues. When he went back to the minor leagues, it was 2 weeks, and he hit .509 for El Paso. And that is all for Renfroe. We head to the 8th inning now. Posey, Longoria, and Brandon Crawford coming up. In the 8th inning, Buster, who is 0 for 3 in the game, facing Craig Stammen. 5-1, San Diego leading. Strike 1 called. Posey has a .545 career average against Stammen. 6 hits, 11 at bats, including a double.
Well, you don't see it very often, but I think Buster Posey is happy that Tyson Ross is out of the game. I think all the right-handed hitters for the Giants are happy that Tyson Ross is out of the game. He was tough on everybody. Not one hit from the Giants' right-handed hitter tonight.
The right-handed hitters were 0 for 14 against him. 1-2 now to Buster. That's a rather dramatic split.
It really is.
The lefties had 7 hits against him. Galvis. And Buster is 0 for 4. Now Longoria. Giants got the one hit with a runner in scoring position in the 7th inning by Joe Paddock. But that was it. Belt was called out on strikes, and then McCutcheon hit a double play ball to end the inning. The Giants are 1 for 6 as a team in those clutch at bats. Strike one to Longoria. Longoria has struck out twice, and he hit a deep fly ball to left center and got caught on the warning track. Quickly 0-2 the count to him. Tomorrow's game, a 5:40 first pitch. Derek Holland for the Giants against the left-hander Clayton Richard for the Padres. And that is all for Longoria.
Little two-seam backdoor movement coming around the backside of that strike zone down around the knees. I mean, it's an absolute perfect pitch if you're Stammen. Set the target wide. Did it go across the plate? Well, it appeared to in the eye of Tim Timmons, the plate umpire.
Now Brandon Crawford, who was 3 for 3 against Tyson Ross. Giants left-handed hitters against Ross had 7 hits and 10 at-bats.
Yeah, he wasn't fooling many of the lefties.
The lefties hit 700 against him, and the righties were 0 for the night, 0 for 14. I think when a big league manager, he builds his lineup for a certain game, he looks at a lot of different things, but something that they always look toward are those splits, the righties and lefties. Who hits well against righties? Who hits well against lefties? Left center field, and caught by Pirello. It's the first time Brandon Crawford has been retired. It's 5-1, San Diego.
App, you can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Gets Giants home screen icons, features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and much, much more. Download MLB At Bat today. They got the flaps on.
2 flaps down. Sam Dyson, who came out for the 7th inning, back for another inning of work here, and it really trying to get, as you mentioned, Mike, some things straightened out, and he drills Villanueva.
Villanueva reaches base for the 4th straight time in this game.
I know intent here. I mean, he's just out of whack. Plunks him right on the left pocket of his uniform. And Padres a little sensitive about getting plunked after they left the series with the Rockies, where they were throwing at each other the whole series.
It is the 9th time a Padres been hit this year in their first 15 games. And they have hit in turn 4. Galvis into medium deep left center. Pence. And that is out number 1. Holding on at first, Villanueva. Of course, the ironic part of that brawl in Colorado on Wednesday was the pitch that started the whole brawl, which got Arenado to head out to the mound. Didn't hit him. He went behind him. Longoria can't pick it up. Now back to second. And a nice save there by Joe Panik. He scores an error on Evan Longoria.
Well, and Joe Panik's nice dig saved another error. Could have been 2 errors in one play. Longoria coming in. Just catches a little high in the pocket of his glove, on the web of his glove. Couldn't get a handle.
So 2 men on with 1 man out. That's the Giants' second error of the game. Swahe was grounded out. He reached on the Brandon Belt error in the 5th inning, and he struck out looking his last time. So he's 0 for 3. Strike 1 call. Miami cooled off the Pirates in South Florida. Pittsburgh was 9-3 going into that game tonight, but Miami beat the Pirates 7-2. 1 ball and 1 strike. Miami now 4-9. Two men on with 1 man out here in the 8th inning. Both bullpens are busy. That ball into center toward right center. Blanco's got it. Going back to tag up at second base. Villanueva goes to third. Two down in the inning. And now Corey Spangenberg will come up as a pinch hitter. Batting for Stanton here in the 8th inning. Padres lead 5-1. Giants bullpen is working right now, and so is the San Diego bullpen. Spangenberg showing bunt.
I just want to look at the pitch.
Runners at first and third. The Giants have Reyes Moronta up in their bullpen, a right-hander, and Kazuhisa Makita, a submarine-style pitcher, warming up in the San Diego bullpen. But very softly, Panik racing in from the glove in time. Did not feel he had time to make the exchange, and he just barely got it. Spangenberg, a fast runner. Last chance for the Giants. Pence coming up.
series. And we'll be back with you on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network next Friday night, a week from tonight, at 7 o'clock, as the Giants take on the Angels from Angel Stadium in Anaheim, the start of a 3-game series. Kazuhisa Makita, 33-year-old right-hander from Tokyo, Japan, on to face Hunter Pence.
And he's funky. I mean, he is a true submarine. 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider, doesn't throw real hard, tops out around 82.
Strike 2 call.
But unique. When he played in Japan for Seibu, there was a time when he was a starter.
Pence slashes it foul.
I mean, you see a lot of sidearm guys, but guys that go this far down below, I mean, he's released the ball down around the knees. And this is what he has done in 5 games. He's been very good. Just 5 base runners allowed in 5 innings. He struck out 4.
Hunter Pence 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts for Pence tonight.
That's not supposed to happen to you on your birthday. I'm sorry. You're supposed to get like 2 hits, double, home run, 4 RBIs, and make 2 great plays.
Well, we still wish him a happy birthday.
Yes, we do. One of our all-time favorite Giants.
Gregor Blanco, base hit to left field. All the Giants hits tonight off the bats of left-handed hitters. Matt Caesar in right field now for the Padres. Replaced Renfro. So the pinch hitter will be Kelby Tomlinson. Giants are trailing 5-1. And that's called a strike. Tomlinson, 3 hits, 13 at bats. Still looking for his first pinch hit of the year. He's done well in that role. He was the Giants' best pinch hitter last year. Knocked down, but no play. Asuaje got to it, but could not get a hold of it. Base hit for Tomlinson, his first pinch hit of the year. And the Padres have the veteran closer, Brad Hand. And I believe that base runner makes this a rule book save opportunity. So Andy Green is going to bring in Brad Hand, the veteran lefty, with the lefties Panic and Belt, the next 2 hitters due up. 2 on, 1 out. 5-1 San Diego. We'll be right back. Up here for the Giants, starting with Panic. Then you saw Belt, who's on deck. Brad Hand, the closer for the Padres, is a left-hander. 7 innings, 6 hits allowed, 10 strikeouts. He has converted 92% of his save opportunities since he became the full-time closer late the year before last.
He's basically a two-pitch guy. You see a low 90s fastball and a hard slider. And an occasional curveball like that. And I mean occasionally. He didn't throw many. He'll flop it up there to steal a strike, but his kill pitch is that slider. It's a good one to both righties and lefties.
Blanco at second, Tomlinson at first. The Giants down by 4 runs. They need base runners. And Joe Panic has been on base 3 straight times. He popped out his first time, but then was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Singled in the 5th, and he singled home the Giants' only run in the 7th. He's 2 for 3, hitting .319 so far this year.
Not a whole lot of success against Hand, but not a lot of left-handers can say they do have success against this guy. I mean, he's tough on him.
That is scooped up by Galvis, and a double play to end the game. Well, the Padres even up the series with a 5-1 win, and Tyson Ross beats the Giants, beating Ty Block to even up this series. Giants had 10 hits in the game, but only one of them came with a runner in scoring position, as that was once again the Giants' Achilles heel. 1 for 7 in those critical at bats. We're going to have